YouTube, welcome to the channel. This is going to be a different series for you guys. It's going to be called the Basic Beginner Series. Now, my whole aim with regards to this series is for that, just exactly what it's called, beginners. So a lot of people, when they first decide to want to go to the gym, there could be a number of factors that impede them from wanting to go and work out and be healthy. It could be things is they don't know exactly what workouts or what exercise to do necessarily, and then what the proper form is. On the other side of that coin, you have what's called, gym intimidation. People who are afraid that just because they're in there working on being better than themselves, they might not have the confidence to know exactly the exercises, so they think they might look like a fool or an idiot to people who are actually going to the gym all the time. So those two things really affect people and them wanting to make progress in the gym. So my whole goal with this series is to take away one half of that. I'm going to show you guys throughout all these videos just exactly right exercises, or necessarily specific exercises, how to perform them safely, and just give you guys some little tips and tricks on like the setup and things of that nature. This is going to be broken down sort of kind of like a bodybuilder style for showing you guys the workouts, because that is honestly the best and the easiest way to go throughout this whole entire series. So for instance, the first day today, which you guys are going to see, is going to be chest. Then other videos and categories will be arms, legs, back, shoulders, some core, and then for you ladies there will be some glute exercises coming in a way later video, because everybody knows that's what you guys are all about. So with each video there's going to be 4 exercises that I'm going to show you guys how to do. Now these aren't advanced, these aren't expert level lifts or movements or anything like that. These are the most basic and simplistic exercises that you can do in the gym to start working towards whatever your goal or whatever your progress that you want to make is. So without further ado, let's get right to the first video.
Alright guys, so the first thing that we're going to look at is the setup, and starting with your feet. Notice how I slid my feet more back towards the center of my body? That's where you want to have your feet centered, so that the weight is on the front of your toes instead of your legs all the way out to the side. So you start doing the pitter-patter dance that you see people doing once they start lifting a little too much heavier weight. And this is just a warm-up without the bar, just to really, go through the motion of getting your chest muscles activated. So next we're going to look at bar placement and grip. If you notice, I roll my shoulders back first and pin them down to the bench to make sure that my shoulders aren't going to be the main activators when I'm trying to do this bench press. So what you want to do with the grip wise is about a little bit wider than shoulder width. And if you go too far in, you're going to work more of your triceps, and you don't want to necessarily go too far out, because then you're not going to get the activation of your chest. Instead, you'll get the activation of your shoulders. So bringing the bar down to about, I'd say probably nipple level. And the other thing that you want to make sure that you guys will see in this clip is that you don't want the bar to come all the way down and rest on your chest, because when you do that, guys, that's going to take the tension off the muscle and allow it to relax. And what we want to do is we want to keep all the tension as much as possible on that muscle while we're going throughout the motion. We don't want to give it any rest whatsoever. And now the last thing is, if you look in the video, I have an arch under my back, a spot between that and the bench, and that's what happens when you pull your feet closer in and you roll and pin your shoulders down on the bench. It's going to create that arch in your back, which is going to help further isolate your chest muscles. If you lay flat with your back, sometimes you'll use your shoulders more in the pressing motion. Bring the hook in. So now moving on to the incline dumbbell press, I just wanted to show you guys the right angle to actually set the bench up for this, because you don't want to set it up too high because then it almost turns into a shoulder press motion. But with this, you want to make sure that, yet again, the weights aren't touching your chest, they're right above it, and you're pressing the weights directly above you, not out in front, because when you do that, you're going to activate shoulders and you might put a strain on them. So you want to keep the weight directly above you in that plane of motion. So moving on to high cable flies, there's a couple things that you guys got to keep in mind with this. Number one is don't just go on there and load up with the highest weight possible and attempt to do this, because there can be a number of injuries that can really happen from not performing this exercise correctly and using too much weight. So what you want to do is you want to grab both sides of the bar, or both of the D clamps, take a step out, and what you want to do is keep that tension by not releasing your shoulders all the way back. This is just one thing that I wanted to show you guys, is you don't want to keep your arm at a 90-degree angle when you do this, because if you try to bring that 90-degree angle across your body, you're not going to fully be able to stretch your actual chest muscle to get that contraction on it. So what you want to do is you want to keep your arms just about straight as possible, maybe with a slight bend in your elbow, and you want to bring it all the way in front of you across your body until both of your hands essentially meet. And you don't want to have a death grip on both of the cables. You just want to have your hands just comfortably sitting in there, and you want to focus on your chest muscles pulling that weight, in a sense, across your body. Not with a 90-degree angle. You shouldn't be death gripping the cables and trying to squeeze at that 90 degree, because you're not going to get a full chest activation. And on this side angle, you could see you want to take about a step, maybe two forward in front of the cable machine. That's going to add a little bit more tension, so you'll be able to really activate your chest muscle on the exercises. So with push-ups, you want to make sure that everything is in line from your back, shoulders, glutes. Keep it in all that straight line. You don't want to get into the hip dipping like people do, and you just want to make sure that you're pressing through the floor, which is going to hit them chest muscles all the way and give you that good solid pump at the end of your workout.